Welcome to the wrestling experience.
Where we bubble wrapped all of our equipment in case Retribution attacks and tries to destroy our stuff.
But they're supposed to be on Monday, right?
Yeah, I know. It's great that this anarchistic, crazy, no rules following group is following the rules by only showing up on one episode of the 2 episodes we get a week, or so we think.
Yeah, I'm Jazzy Podcast.
And I'm Johnny Podcast.
And we are here to recap Friday Night SmackDown, which begins with a Firefly Funhouse. So we see Bray Wyatt. He's hanging a picture of Braun Strowman, and he welcomes us to the Firefly Funhouse. And he talks about the haters sliding into his DMs for what he did to Alexa Bliss last week. And he's like, listen, you know what? I'm not to blame. Braun Strowman is to blame. You know, how can he let something so horrific happen to someone he cares about? And, you know, but Braun, all you have to do is give him what he wants. And, you know, we kind of see like a bunch of video packages of Braun Strowman holding the title. So it's basically what he's referring to as the title. And he said that he's going to be here later with someone very special. And he's waiting for you, Braun. So I advise you to give him what he wants, or she will find out what he truly is capable of.
Can you believe that? I also noticed that Bray Wyatt had only pictures of Braun Strowman hanging up on his wall, unlike usual where he tends to have random pictures of his victims, which was interesting.
He did a little spring cleaning, I guess, and now he's, you know, completely obsessing about Braun Strowman. So I think this feud is not yet over, and Alexa Bliss might play a big part.
Well, I mean, The Fiend has no chance against Braun Strowman. I mean, The Fiend couldn't even beat Goldberg, and Braun Strowman was able to beat Goldberg pretty easily. So
why did you have to bring that up, man?
Because I wanted to burn you a bit. I wanted it to hurt.
All right. Well,
so early on in the recording.
We kick things off with Matt Riddle versus Sheamus. So both heavy hitters. So I was really looking forward to this match. We see the MMA background of Matt Riddle in full force at the beginning of the match, but Sheamus was definitely holding his own, and he tried to slow down the pace with a bunch of rest holds. So yay, that's a lot of fun, right?
It was pretty brutal, though. They were hitting each other hard. There was a lot of good grappling early on.
Yeah, for sure.
Some nice stuff.
And I remember at one point, Matt Riddle showed some, you know, basically he showed a move that was familiar to his tag team partner, Pete Dunne, where he did the kind of the finger snap move when he had Sheamus in a submission. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, he did pull apart his fingers while he held him in the arm.
Yeah, but then Sheamus, and then Sheamus fought back with a vicious-looking powerbomb and then a bunch of chest strikes. And
I remember holding my breath because I'm like, is Sheamus going to be able to get him up for the powerbomb? Because it looked like they were struggling for a bit.
Yeah, so this is honestly an excellent match. And as Riddle was taking control of the match, we see Shorty G show up and attack Riddle from behind, which causes the ref to ring the bell. So Shorty G, he's cashing in on that King's ransom, you know what I mean? And, you know, it doesn't take long, though, for Matt Riddle to completely brutalize him, hitting him on the announce desk multiple times, throwing him around, you know, just making him look stupid. And Sheamus is still in the ring, and he's watching this chaos, and he's not happy that Matt Riddle has won the match.
Matt Riddle is pointing at Gable saying, hey, don't be mad at me. I didn't ruin this. I didn't. And the announcer announces that Matt Riddle has won by disqualification. And in my mind, I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if Sheamus is upset about this, losing a match, and goes after Shorty G?
Of course, and that's what happened. So he drags Shorty G into the ring, hits him with a bro kick, and basically Shorty G is chumped out. You know, Sheamus gets on the mic and he's like, you took my win away from me. And then he hits him with one final bro kick.
He was telling him to get up, get up, get up. I'm like, is Sheamus turning face? Did he after being such a douchebag to Jeff Hardy, he's gonna become face instantly? I'm like, interesting.
No, not at all. I mean, I didn't feel that because actually the next segment.
You felt it because he was going for the get up and he was like doing the charge for the bro kick like a face would. Like, come on, he was a little bit. There's a little bit of pandering there. I feel. I don't think it's a full face turn, but I did kind of feel a bit like it. No, and yeah, Shorty G is chumped out. This was a nice, interesting twist on the formula here, but at the expense of Shorty G.
Yeah. So next segment we have Baron Corbin backstage talking to Sarah, and then Sheamus interrupts him, and Sheamus is really angry that Shorty G cost him his match, and he's like, you know, if you try that again, I will stick that crown up your royal arse, as he says it. And
King Sheamus was once a king. He knows.
Yeah, and then basically Baron Corbin's like, you know what, like, you're really lucky that I have to deal with Jeff Hardy, otherwise I put a dent in your skull. So I actually love the fact that these two heels have bad blood. Like, I don't know, like I'm kind of sick and tired of this, like of one person having to be a heel and one person having to be a face, and heels being nice to other heels. Like, why is it that a heel always has to be nice to another heel? Like, why can't a heel also hate on another heel? So, I mean,
yeah, by nature they should. If they're selfish and they only care about themselves, they should hate everyone equally.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's like
really
they're
nice
being,
to see, yeah.
it's like they're only being discrimination. They're only discriminating the faces here. It's not fair.
Yeah, exactly. So now, next segment, we're back in the ring with the Dirt Sheet. And I have to say that, in my opinion, for me, this was an awkward as hell and unfunny segment.
Wow, and you say that because I thought it was funny. I thought it was the best part of the show.
I don't know.
I thought Miz and Morrison were hilarious again.
Well, look, okay, so we see the attack on Mandy Rose with Sonya Deville cutting up her hair and just kind of putting makeup all over her face, making her look ugly. And as Miz is talking, the mic cuts off, and then John Morrison calls out Retribution, saying that they thought that they were on Raw.
They're not scheduled for tonight.
Yeah, and then the Miz is like, you know what, I want to give a platform to our victim, to Mandy Rose, and he calls her via satellite, and it's just a wig with googly eyes. And
It's
I'm
Mandy Rose's hair, the victim here, not Mandy Rose.
And I'm like, this is so stupid. And they talk about, they're like, oh, we can't imagine the humiliation you went through. And then basically Mandy Rose's hair talks about, being forgotten and how Mandy Rose hasn't contacted her. And I'm like, this is just so stupid. Like, what part of this segment did you think was genius?
When they said, give me a hair, yeah.
That was so stupid. Come on, man.
Come on. Okay, well, you know what?
You say that and you're like, this is the best part of the night?
It was funny. Yeah, it was stupid, but it was kind of funny. I was entertained. I thought they were funny again. They're the best part of the show for me every week, Morrison and Miz. So what do you want me to say?
I don't know. They're just ribbing on Mandy Rose at this point. Anyways, moving on. Out comes their
You just have a crush on Mandy Rose. That's why you don't accept this. If they were making fun of anybody else, you would have probably been like, this is brilliant writing, 10 out of 10.
I'm not going to comment on that. Out comes their guest, Sonya Deville, looking like a badass character from John Wick.
Yeah, she has she's wearing a tie. Like, she looks like she's wearing like a suit, like typically a guy would wear, which was pretty cool.
She's
I like
like
the tie.
$1,000,000, man.
All black too.
Yeah, and then she basically claims that she made Mandy Rose, outside look as ugly as she is on the inside. And, she's a woman of her words and she enjoyed ruining her. And, God's greatest creation, the golden goddess, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's all she's ever had. And she doesn't feel bad at all. Like, she actually enjoyed brutalizing Mandy Rose and kind of making her kind of a chump, right?
Yeah, she really was passionate about what she did, what she said. My only complaint about this was I felt she was speaking way too fast. I think she was nervous a bit. The content of her promo was great, but the delivery needed a bit of work in my opinion.
The way I saw it is like she was just angry and like she was kind of just like spouting, like she was just spewing all this anger. So I didn't feel like she was talking really fast. I don't know. Like, I thought it was pretty good.
Watch it again. She spoke way too fast. At least when Braun Strowman does it, when he's yelling needlessly, it's a pace. It's closer to a snail's pace than her. This was a bit quick, but anyway, I'm not going to complain too much about it.
Found that it was a solid promo from Sonya. She even mentions that Mandy Rose is known for winning a Bumpy Award for making out with Otis, so that's kind of sad. But yeah, anyways,
hey,
yeah.
I'll take an award. Like, come on, how is that sad? That's a great award. What an honor.
Didn't you hear that we won the Bumpy Award for being the best wrestling podcast?
We did? Oh my god, I don't have a speech ready. Oh my god. Oh no, what do I do?
All right, so Heavy Machinery, they've had enough and they come out and they just clean house. After the break, we have a one-on-one action between Lince Dorado and Cesaro. We see Lince's athletic ability earlier on, but Cesaro just completely overpowers him with a vicious uppercut and a bunch of backbreakers. Lince does try to fight back in this pretty decent match with multiple moonsaults, but Nakamura causes a distraction and Cesaro hits him with a neutralizer for the 3 count. So I thought it was a pretty decent match, and it was the only match on the show that actually had a finish.
A decisive winner, yeah. Unfortunately, that's... we still got, like an hour left of this show, and we can say that that's the only match with a decision. It's unfortunate. But yeah, this was it felt a little squashish, but this was a short match to put over Cesaro, which is nice because Cesaro is great.
He's the best. So now we're backstage.
He really
Otis is furious. He's just basically hitting some crate or whatever. He's interviewed by Kayla, and he's clearly upset. And he's like, listen, I'm a funny guy, but they're crossing the line. Tucker says that what Sonya did last week was despicable. And Otis is like, listen, I can handle jokes that are on me, but, when you disrespect my peach, he's not going to stand for it. So Otis is angry, and they're really going to feel his wrath tonight. I
enjoyed this segment because I remember when the Dirt Sheet segment was going on, and and then they came out to defend Mandy. I'm like, Otis, you took way too long to defend, and then instead of being like upset and angry, you take the time to go for the caterpillar. And I'm like, okay, maybe you can put that aside for the sake of this and be more serious. And this promo
with this, yeah.
This promo kind of redeemed it. I'm like, hopefully he says something about how he doesn't want to make jokes anymore, because I did feel it was kind of weird when he's just like doing the caterpillar, dancing around, when he should be upset about what happened to Mandy.
Well, but you say that, but I guess when we get to their match, I have a lot of opinions on that. But first, we have The Fiend making his entrance, and I have to say, the music is awesome, the lasers and everything, it's excellent. It's nice to see The Fiend, and it's nice to see that entrance as well.
Oh, yeah, he got the full entrance. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, but what was weird, though, is that after the break, we're in the ring, the annoying music is playing, and Alexa is already in the ring. And I'm like, wait, they clearly shot this last week, because Alexa's wearing the same clothes. She still has her makeup on. So are we really supposed to believe that she's been, like, captured by this character for a full week? No, like, they actually shot this probably, the moment that SmackDown went off the air last week. And
maybe they had 2 rings and they were filming SmackDown in the Raw Underground ring or something. But it's funny that you mentioned this, because on Friday night I tuned into SmackDown at this time. I got home late, and I think it was about 9 o'clock or like 9:10. I opened it, started watching, and I saw this, and I'm like, why am I watching something from last week?
Well, there you go. It actually, again, like, she's wearing the same clothes, same everything. So they really, again, I think that they actually shot it, last week. But alas, the Fiend is approaching her slowly. He's crawling up to her, looking all creepy. He's about to put the mandible claw on her, but she actually stops him. She touches his face. The Fiend is aroused, and he's and he backs away.
And I can't help but feel that, like, while I saw Bray Wyatt standing there, I'm like, he's just a fat guy again. all the gains he had from when he started as the Fiend, I'm like, it's gone.
Yeah, he's kind of put on a little bit of weight. But hey, Braun Strowman is on the Titantron. He's laughing. He's like, I don't give a damn about Alexa. All I care about is destroying you. And
what a liar.
And he talks about, when he went to the swamp, there were 2 ways that he was coming out, right? Number 1, the most evil SOB that Bray Wyatt has ever seen. Or number 2, a man with the satisfaction that he spit in the devil's face. And since he's standing in the ring, it means that you're looking at the most evil SOB, right? Like, you're looking at pure evil. And
basically, he said, I'm either going to win or lose this swamp match.
basically, he's like, he's like, I'm going to fulfill my destiny now. I am more than a man. I am what nightmares are made of. He's a monster. And he's challenging Bray Wyatt at SummerSlam. He's like, face your fears, face the monster. So clearly, we're going to see the monster versus the Fiend.
Yes, you see, I hope that when they advertise this match, it literally says on the match card, the monster. Like otherwise, I just find this really dumb and I don't care.
Yeah, pretty much. So,
because I'm like, okay, sure.
Next up, we have Jeff Hardy versus King Corbin. Decent match, but with the very obvious cheap finish, in my opinion. Hardy started the match in control with a couple of right hands and inverted atomic drops, but Corbin quickly set the pace when he hit Hardy with a brutal clothesline. Then it was basically mostly Corbin controlling the match with a slower pace. He hit Hardy with a knee that drove him out to the ring, and out of nowhere, out comes Sheamus with a brogue kick, costing Corbin the match. So kind of, Sheamus getting the best of Baron Corbin here for what happened earlier on. They get face-to-face with the referee separating them. And
this was great.
Yeah, after the break, though, this causes an impromptu match between Corbin and Sheamus. And in my opinion, the way I thought is, I'm like, it's kind of hard to care about 2 heels fighting, but I actually like that they're not always doing the face versus heel recipe. And they were both evenly matched, both getting decent amount of offense on each other. It was just 2 big giants kind of just, hitting each other really hard. And the match actually gets taken outside. Sheamus hits him on the announce desk and the barricade, and then into the ring post. And then Corbin takes control with rest holds once again. But then Matt Riddle jumps out of nowhere, causing a distraction on Corbin. And then Sheamus took advantage, and he hits Corbin with the brogue kick for the win. So Matt Riddle actually helped out Sheamus with that.
I must say, though, this was, like, from trying to be as objective as possible, this was a very solid sequence, like a whole segment. Like, the match was fine. Just the whole storyline going in where Sheamus, a heel, is upset that another heel messed up his match, goes after the other heel. We have a match that we've never seen before. We haven't really seen these 2 fight each other because they're heels. It furthers the storyline with Matt Riddle. It makes Sheamus have something interesting to do. I honestly, I think that, the writers decided not to be lazy this time and came up with a little bit of interwoven, clever storytelling here, I must say. I feel like this was a pretty solid storyline that was going throughout the episode, similar to how the Otis and Mandy thing is also woven throughout the episode. So in terms of that, they did a pretty good job for both these storylines going together.
But you know what's coming up next, right? We're gonna see Shorty G and Baron Corbin versus Sheamus and Matt Riddle.
Yes, we got a tag team match player. I smell it coming. Yes, and we're gonna probably have Corbin and Shorty G get the win because, you know, Sheamus and Riddle probably can't coexist together because Sheamus doesn't like to play by the rules. But then Sheamus calls his buddy Cesaro, and then we have the Bar, and I don't know, like, and then the Bar can fight Jeff Hardy in a bar fight.
But what about Nakamura?
Oh, Nakamura can still be part of the Bar. Why not?
Why not? So now we're backstage with the role models, Sasha and Bayley. Bayley is kind of looking distraught. Sasha asks if she's okay and if she's distraught because she's facing Asuka on Monday. Bayley's like, you know what? It would have been nice to be told this in advance because, you know, Asuka's mad for what I did to Kairi Sane, right? Taking her out. And Sasha's like, listen, it's all right. Like, you know, I want you to do this for me. Like, this is not about Asuka. This is about us. It's about us having all the gold. We did this. You know, and then some random chooch interrupts, and he's like, Stephanie McMahon wants them in the ring. But this guy is like so happy. He's like, Stephanie wants you in the ring, and he's like smiling and everything. And I'm like,
who wouldn't be happy after getting off the phone, presumably with Stephanie McMahon, and being told to do something? Like, I would be happy if Stephanie McMahon called me and said, go up to Sasha and Bayley and tell them they're needed in the ring. I'd be like, oh yeah, let's do it. Yeah, I'm down.
I guess so. But before we see that, Kayla interviews Big E backstage, and she asks him, you know, what's the next part of your journey? And, you know, he talks about being an entertainer, a tag team partner, and a friend. But now he really gets to answer the question of what could have been, right? So he doesn't know where this run is going to take him, but he's going to give all of him. And he's like, do you know why? And then Kayla's like, because New Day rocks. And then they both just kind of celebrate, which was nice. I think, like, I actually don't know what they're going to be doing with Big E, but I think there's going to be a lot of potential. I think there's a lot of money in Big E versus AJ Styles.
Yeah, I really like Big E. I felt like maybe this week his promo was a little rambling and confusing and like a little bit all over the place. But normally I think he's very compelling when he cuts promos, and he's a very good competitor in the ring. So I'm super down to see this. And then I guess, I mean, Xavier's been a champion in other promotions, but not the main guy in WWE. Maybe it'll be his turn after. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? But now we have Sasha and Bayley. They're in the ring. And then Stephanie McMahon is on the Titantron. She congratulates them for winning all of the gold. You know, they thank her because there's so much negativity in the locker room, and they're just doing this to be role models for all the little girls, including her daughters. And Stephanie talks about, you know, them making a mockery of a stipulation that she made or putting on a referee shirt. But she's like, you know what? You've got everyone's attention, including mine. So Sasha and Bayley, you know, they're sucking up to her, talking about the WWE Network being $9.99 and then following on her footsteps and her husband's footsteps, you know, watching all their clips and everything. Which was great. I thought this segment actually really worked well. And Stephanie kind of goes to Sasha and she's like, you will be defending your title, possibly against Asuka. And as for Bayley, there's going to be a triple brand battle royal next week with the winner facing her at SummerSlam. So NXT, Raw, SmackDown, all the women, there's going to be a battle royal. And that's what's best for business. So again, in my opinion, I think I'm super down for this. I think there's so much potential for so many great matchups. And I was going to ask you who your personal pick would be, but I would say I would want Rhea Ripley to win this.
I was also thinking that. I was also going to ask, what are the odds that Asuka is not facing Sasha at SummerSlam?
Oh, no, she's definitely facing Sasha.
I would say very little. And yeah, Rhea Ripley would be something that came to mind as a challenger for Bayley because it's a fresh matchup. And she didn't exactly win on NXT to face Io Shirai for the NXT title, so it would make sense for her to be possibly a winner, or we just have the classic returning Charlotte, which, you know, everyone always puts the butts in the seats.
I completely forgot about Charlotte. You know, a couple of weeks ago you also mentioned Charlotte, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so gonna happen.
I didn't mention Charlotte. Sasha was alluding to Charlotte when she was trying to find a challenger for Asuka.
That's true.
So
you're right.
Come on, or maybe it's a returning Becky Lynch.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's gonna happen. But honestly, like, if I had a dark horse, it would be Bianca Belair. I think Bianca Belair is going to be a superstar. Like, she's going to be a big star. And I think this could be one way of getting the title off Bayley.
I don't expect it to be Bianca Belair. I think she's going to be involved at the tag team match with the Poison at SummerSlam. I think that, like, we might see a one-on-one match or like a 6-person tag before SummerSlam, or maybe they'll just be both at ringside for SummerSlam. So I don't expect Bianca Belair to win, but yeah, that would be a cool matchup for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So now
could also just be Shayna Baszler, since like the storyline, it would make sense given what happened on Raw. So
no, I don't think so. So now we're backstage with Miz, Morrison, and Sonya. And Kayla's asking them, do you guys regret taking things too far? Now that you have a match with Heavy Machinery tonight. And The Miz is like, sometimes good comedy offends. And John and I are mental giants and physical marvels. And it's like playing chess with a pig. And Kayla's like, I've never seen Otis this upset before. And they're like, well, what's he going to do? Eat us? It was, whatever. It's, they're, just making fun of Otis because he's fat and all that and dumb and all that. So,
classic.
Yeah, classic. And we do have our main event right up next. So it's Heavy Machinery versus Miz and Morrison. Tucker and Morrison are starting it out with Tucker hitting him with a side slam, and then we see the lights flickering, so that's a sign for things to come. Otis tags in, and he hits him with a running shoulder tackle. And, for someone who's very serious and angry, Otis sure loves to rub his belly, air hump, and gyrate, right? And this is the part that really bothered me. Otis talks about being serious and furious, yet you're gyrating and air humping. I cannot believe that you're actually furious,
Yeah. Like, as I was saying before, I was happy that he got a chance to be more serious with his promo after the Dirt Sheet segment where he's doing the Caterpillar, but then he kind of undid it here. So, I mean, this would have been a good time for him to have some character development, I would say,
I completely agree with you. And the goofiness continues because they both hit The Miz with a running belly attack. And, Tucker takes them both out with a cannonball outside. After the break, Miz and Morrison have taken over and they work on Tucker. Otis eventually gets the hot tag and he cleans house. Towards the end, Otis is driven to the steel steps outside, and all of a sudden, Mandy Rose comes out with shorter hair and she starts attacking Sonya. Like, she really is giving it to her.
Short hair, Mandy Rose. Woo!
I remember at one point, I think it was Corey Graves that called her God's greatest soccer mom, which I thought was pretty funny.
Also, this causes the bell to ring because apparently attacking someone who's ringside, not in the match, would cause the match to end. So,
which was also really weird. I was just about to mention that. I was like, why was like the bell rung when Sonya was not even in the match? Which I thought was pretty funny. But yeah, anyways, both teams, they separate the ladies, but then they go at it again. And again, Mandy is looking fantastic. I think this feud has a lot of potential. Again, Sonya's been killing it with her promo work. Mandy is not really known for her promo work, but she's actually really, really good in the ring. So I'm actually looking forward to what they're going to show us with Mandy versus Sonya. And then there's a break, and after the break, we're backstage, and they're just yelling at each other, and then the lights go out, and then the lights come back in, and everyone's like, what the hell's going on? And next thing you know, Retribution is coming out with a bunch of weapons, and they start yelling and causing chaos. Corey and Cole run away, and then Retribution has taken over, and this one guy gets in the camera's face, and he's like, this is our house now, and they chase away the camera operators. They're cursing all over the place. They're actually beating down on the performance wrestlers. They actually beat down on a woman. They start spray painting the barricade. They start spray painting the ring. Yep. I think they're also spray painting like the apron and whatever.
They're so tough with their spray paint and beating up random people.
Exactly.
And their chainsaws that they chainsaw the ring ropes. I found it funny because I'm like, so they beat up everybody around the ring except a few cameramen so that they can get all this on footage.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. To be honest with you, there's a lot of things that are wrong with this. I think that everything that happened in this segment was wrong. Like, it was just really silly. So if you want us to actually take Retribution seriously, don't have them wear freaking ski masks and like these baggy hoodies, right? They all look like they're 5'5". And they're all like just kind of yelling and being obnoxious, and they're like high-fiving each other and fist bumping each other and being like, yay. Like, that is not becoming of a group that you should be scared of.
So here's what I think.
No, but like it's like you look at them and you're like, they're annoying brats. But like, I'm not afraid of them. You know what I mean? They're all
That's the thing.
I don't know.
I thought that they were Tozawa's ninjas for the first 5-10 minutes. And then I'm like, I wonder what would happen if Drew McIntyre was in the ring and they went for this. I don't think it would end well for them.
Exactly, that's the thing.
Like I think Drew McIntyre or AJ Styles or Randy Orton, they'd all just slap these 5 guys around. I guess there was 5 or 6 of them. I don't remember. One of them looked female. At least one of them.
2 of them are female.
Okay, well there you go.
I don't know. I just there's just something odd about this, man. Like, and I don't. it's only been a week, and this is why I don't want to be negative, but like it's been a week and I don't give a crap about Retribution.
Look, you're not the same. I don't care either. I'm like, this show ended 15 minutes early, as far as I'm concerned. Like, I'm not excited about what they're gonna do at all. I don't expect I feel like this is just a joke, and in like 2 weeks, Drew McIntyre is gonna clean house right before SummerSlam, just take them out, just to make them look strong going into SummerSlam. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what their purpose is. What are they gonna do? Ruin SummerSlam?
Yeah, and I guess and once they reveal who the wrestlers are, like, what is it that got them all together? And because I remember at one point, like, one of the characters, like one of the ninjas, one of the Retribution people, like drew a W with the spray paint, and then they kind of circled it, and then they put a bar on it, so it's kind of like WWE, and they were like anti-WWE, like wearing schema, like, you know.
So it's all guys from AEW and Impact. The invasion is coming.
You know, you got Heath Slater, you got all these people. I don't know, man. Like, you know, like, so that's kind of how SmackDown ended, and I think this is my opinion of SmackDown in a nutshell. Like, it was an episode of SmackDown. It just happened. Like, but nothing like amazing. I mean, I think the best part for me was the interwoven storyline between, you know, Sheamus, Matt Riddle, King Corbin. I thought that was pretty cool. I thought the announcement of the Triple Brand Battle Royale, I think that's going to be really, really fun. The Mandy Rose Sonya storyline got an advancement, so I thought that was pretty cool. But to the detriment of, you know, Otis being like, "Oh, I'm very furious and I'm mad," but then he's kind of air humping and gyrating in the ring and rubbing his belly. So I'm like, I don't really buy that. And this whole Retribution thing, man, like, I don't know. Like, I'm gonna give it another chance, obviously, but they're really not starting off well, man. That's for sure.
I agree. This is like the opposite of how the Nexus was cool when they just showed up and started beating people up.
Yeah, like at least the Nexus, like, I don't know, caused havoc, but they weren't like, yay, they weren't high-fiving each other. They actually looked mean, you know what I mean? Like, and now you have a bunch of like tiny people wearing like baggy hoodies. Like, I just can't believe that, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing. Why do they look so small?
Because they
I don't understand. Just a bunch of small people.
I don't know, man. They're gonna mask each other, like, and it's gonna be like Johnny Gargano. It's gonna be Tommaso Ciampa. Like, it's all tiny people. Adam Cole. You know what I mean? Like, it's just ridiculous. I don't think it's really them, but I'm just saying, like, can you imagine that, like, one of them unmasked and it's actually Ciampa? Because he's not on NXT. Can you imagine, like, how bad would you feel for Ciampa to be like linked to?
Oh my god! If it's revealed that one of them is Tommaso Ciampa, I'll be so disappointed, because Tommaso Ciampa deserves better.
Of course, he deserves better.
Like, a lot better. Like, he deserves better than getting beaten up by Karrion Kross.
It's like Finn Balor.
Takeover. Like, come on.
I don't know, man. Like, I mean, the rumor is that the two women, at least, one of them is Chelsea Green and the other one is Vanessa Bourne. And I'm like, okay, cool. You know,
nice.
Go for it.
Is the idea that they're all NXT people? Either way, like, all this to say, this episode of SmackDown was not super great. It was okay. The ending was, like, probably the worst part. And when the ending is the worst part, that's not a good sign. Aside from, like, a little bit of good storyline advancement in the Mandy Rose department and the Sheamus, Matt Riddle, Baron Corbin department, wasn't super great.
No, definitely not. But hey, that was our recap for Friday Night SmackDown. We are going to end this on a positive, right? We're looking forward to Monday Night Raw and Raw Underground. Can't wait to see what's next.
You're looking forward to Raw Underground?
I am. I'm going to give them a shot, man. Come on now.
So, well, I mean, the Hurt Business is there, so I mean, that's
exactly, and it's giving Bobby Lashley something to do. So we have that to look forward to. But hey, tell us what you guys think. Send us an email at wrestlingexperience@gmail.com. You'll find all the description. You'll find the information for where you can find us on YouTube, for where you can listen to us via your podcast app, and we will see you guys in the next one.
You know, now that I think about it, I don't even know why we bubble wrapped everything. If Retribution shows up, I don't even care. I'm not even scared. Dude, what are they gonna do?
We can just beat the crap out of them. We can just bro kick them, and we can just take them all out. It's easy.
I know. It's not even like, I'm not even scared. I hope they don't walk in right now. Oh my god, someone's opening the door.